Yes, let's go. Okay, everybody. Here we are with episode 24 of the Almost Daily Show with Chandler
and the Dave Picardi.
We're pretty pumped about this episode, and basically we're pretty pumped about every episode, but even more pumped about this episode because Dave has big muscles on his arms.
They are huge.
You know what they say? Huge.
They don't look very big, but I'm 6'11", so these things are monsters.
Yeah. He wears a size 29 shoe.
29.
29. I didn't even know there was such a size until I met Dave.
That's right.
I can fit my whole arm in his shoe.
That's more than 3 of my actual shoes. I'm a big size guy.
Can you imagine a size 29?
Oh my God. It's like
it would be like
it'd be like skis.
Yeah, I could probably fit my entire leg in one of those, or at least my arms and half my body.
I think so.
So today is what?
We could sneak onto an airplane in one of those shoes.
That's true. Like, hey, where'd Chandler go? Oh, he's in the shoe.
Right. Yeah, talk about today. Good one. Let's go.
We had a pretty cool episode organized. It's in today's Almost Daily Show. We were talking about this earlier. There's this distinct difference that a lot of people don't recognize in the way businesses operate and the way people operate. And there's two mindsets. Number one is the entrepreneurial mindset, and number two is the employee mindset. And what we were talking about with this is it's not, you can't just put people into those two buckets and expect them to conform and mold into them. It's a specific way of thinking, it's a specific lifestyle, and it's a specific way of doing things. And when we look at the entrepreneur mindset, it's really what can I get done? How much of it can I get done? How can I create new things? How can I create new strategies? And how can I pivot, shift, and move on to the next thing? And it's all self-starting, because in the entrepreneur mindset, if you're not pushing it forward, nobody else is going to do it for you. So you're essentially the catalyst to your own dreams, versus the employee mindset, where you don't necessarily want to take the risk of starting something. You don't want to be the one to create, identify, and bring out new things. And you want to be the guy who's under the entrepreneur, who's led, who is told what to do, who's given some mentorship, and who's provided some support. And both are really good. There's nothing bad about either one. It just, you have to know the type of person you're dealing with.
That's right. And I think a big thing is I like to look at it in terms of people that don't like to be managed and can be given either a vision or a tasks and can just go get it done, and people that need to be managed. And that's, I think, a huge difference between it. Like, we see from the different types of businesses we interact with, there's employees and contractors. And a lot of the time, this is like the new day and age, everybody's trying to make everybody a contractor, right? And saying, oh, you're a contractor. And the issue is most people aren't entrepreneurs, right? By definition, most people are employees. They just want to be led. They want to be shown what they need to do. They want to punch a clock. They want the breaks that they're supposed to get. Right? And they want to make sure that when they leave at whatever, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 10 a.m., whenever they leave, their responsibility for working stopped with them. Right? That's a big mindset difference between an entrepreneur and not. Right?
Yeah, that's a huge difference. Like, those guys, if you're not in the entrepreneur mindset and you're in the employee mindset, it's 9 to 5, clock out, day's over, done, come back the next day and deal with it. When you're an entrepreneur, it's 9 to whenever you're done with everything, worry about it 24/7, go through the roller coaster of the entrepreneur life cycle. And it takes a specific mindset. Like, you got to be ready and you got to be pumped for this kind of stuff. You got to be a self-starter. You got to move fast. You got to be able to think quickly. And you have to be able to make decisions that sometimes work and sometimes don't. And if they don't, you have to be able to react and respond to the ones that don't and make a plan of action so those work forward. And the employees don't necessarily have the capabilities to do that.
Yeah, well, then, capabilities. We already said it. Mindset. They just don't want to.
Dave, you're silent.
No, you lost me.
Everybody, Dave lost his voice.
Oh God.
I'm hoping we can get him reconnected.
Am I back?
Please hold while he continues to connect him or try to connect himself.
How's that?
if you're watching this, we're discussing the entrepreneur versus the employee mindset. Dave had a really good point he was talking about, and then he lost his sound and lost his voice, and now I'm lost without him.
Yes, you are.
So we're discussing the differences between employees versus entrepreneurs and the idea that there's two different mindsets. The mindsets are definitely unique in the way that they're going to operate and the way the people are going to operate. The entrepreneur is going to be there 24/7, consistently thinking about it, consistently involved, consistently worrying about it. And everything literally rides on the entrepreneur versus the employee who's going to be there. They're going to be there to do things, but they're also going to check in and check out when work's over. They're going to come to work at 9, they're going to leave at 5. They're not going to care about what happens afterward, and then they're going to come back. They need to have a leader to tell them what to do and how to get to where they need to go. And if they don't have that leadership, or they don't have someone giving them a strategy or a pathway or a plan of action, they're essentially they're not going to get anything done, because they don't have the mindset of, how do I figure out what I'm going to do next? They need, what do I do next? Do it. Okay, good job. Now let's do this.
Can you hear me right now?
So when you're dealing with your employees, and especially if you're the leader, even if you're a manager or a leader, when you're dealing with your employees, you have to get out of the mindset that they're going to do things without you having to tell them what to do. And you need to get in the mindset that it's about communication. So it's about, how can I communicate with them on a daily or weekly basis? How can I give them a plan of action and support to do what they need to do? And how can I be there to mentor them and be there to support them when things don't work out for them, or when things do work out for them? So if they don't work out, I need to be there to tell them, hey, what went wrong? Let's talk about how we can fix this next time. And then let's make a plan of action to make it better. And if things went right, okay, you did great on this one. This is what I think really, really well. This is what you can improve on. And in the entrepreneur mindset, you have to be there. You're not only just the entrepreneur for yourself, but you're essentially going to build a staff and a team that you need. And if you don't build that team and that staff, you're always going to be by yourself. And a lonely entrepreneur is one of the worst things to be in. So understand that even in the entrepreneur mindset, you're always going to have to be a leader, and you're going to have to be empathetic towards what your team thinks and wants and what they say. You have to be able to look at it from their viewpoint and say, all right, how are they feeling? What would they say? What are they thinking? And now how do I react and respond off that? And how do I make sure that the team and the whole unit is cohesive based off what they're thinking? And the second you can look through their eyes and see viewpoints from the way they're seeing it and understanding and feeling it, is when you become a really good leader. Dave, where are you?
Am I not back yet?
Let's
see.
So Dave is currently still muted. So far, this was a pretty good episode. If anybody has questions for us on this kind of stuff, we would love to answer your questions. We're going to hang out here live for a minute, see if Dave can jump back on. But just think, especially a lot of entrepreneurs watch this show, just make sure that when you're in the mindset of managing people, you need to be empathetic towards those people. So you have to be able to talk to them, mentor them. You can't always be in the position to where you're the jerk that they don't want to approach. And if you do put yourself in a position to where you're empathetic towards them, they're always going to be okay coming to you. They're going to want to follow your leadership. And aside from that, another big thing to think about being the entrepreneur and the leader, and when you get these teams established, is you need to be able to display the big picture to them. Employees want to follow someone who can tell them the big why, like, why are these things happening? Why are they functioning? What's going on with everything? And this is where we're headed. If you can't explain the why and the big picture to your employees or to your contractors or to anybody you work with, they're not going to want to follow you, and they're not going to understand why you're doing things. And that's when they get in the mindset of, well, this sucks. I'm just doing my job. And so if we want to avoid those kind of things, we just got to get into that mindset. Dave, it looks like they can actually hear you, but I can't hear you.
That's a problem. So I love it. That's okay. So now I don't even
Let me see what's going on here.
All that matters. So so if everyone can hear me, then I think the big thing is understanding that you're, I guess, employee, right? Or working with anybody that is a worker or an employee and has that type of mindset. They love their job and they'll do it necessarily. And if you're an entrepreneur, don't expect like employees behave like you, and it's a false expectation, and we see it a lot as you try to. Anyone with an entrepreneur mindset, they try to build a business around them with entrepreneurs, and it never usually works out because they build all this team, and no one's actually an entrepreneur around them, but they expect them to behave that way. And we see that a lot, and it's just not real management going on. So understand that if you're an entrepreneur and you're going to expand past yourself and have an actual business around you, you need employees, not necessarily a whole team of entrepreneurs. It's really hard to do that. At that point, you need to have a real cohesive unit, and that's the struggle a lot of businesses fall into. A lot of startups and smaller service type businesses.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can't hire a bunch of entrepreneurs and expect everything to get done, because you need to hire the people who are going to be able to do the work for you and who want to do the work and who want to check out at the end of the day and who are happy with that, because they don't want to take the big risk of being the overall entrepreneur. And you need those people, because without them, you can't set up systems, you can't set up staff, you can't set up strategies, and you're never going to be able to actually scale up like we talked about in the last episode.
Right. So, yeah, this was another good one, even though we had somewhat technical difficulty.
Yeah, so we had a comment. Deborah said that she can hear you and me, and we were both okay in the audio. It just must have been whatever's going on this thing. But, we always talk about this. Sometimes things go wrong, and
it's okay. There's no reason to stress over it.
True. You just got to go with plan B. Like we do this live. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it works. But if it doesn't, we go to plan B. When plan B doesn't work, we go to plan C.
D.
Yeah.
D.
E, F, E. There's always a backup plan. So remember, if things don't always go your way, the world isn't going to end. All you have to do is take a step back, continue moving forward. Don't freak out, and you're going to see the big picture and how to fix it.
Actually, one of our old episodes, imperfection is actually a good thing from a marketing standpoint. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time. You get to see how people react when things aren't going their way, kind of who they are as people. So it's a good thing. Imperfection.
Yeah. It's exciting.
I love it. All right.
So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you ever have questions for us, make sure you ask us, post them in the comments, send us an email, hello@outofthecaveootcmedia.com. And then you can subscribe to this in iTunes as well if you want to listen to this rather than watch it.
Excellent. All right, sir.
Almost Daily Show.
See you tomorrow for the Almost Daily Show.
All right. See you guys tomorrow. Hopefully both our sounds will be working. See ya. Yeah.